Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be replacing our factory xenon headlights in our 4 Series, and we're replacing them with Alibaba Ikon 2s. Let me show you guys these. As you can see here, these are our Alibaba Ikon 2s. These are the V2s, so they will switch between white and yellow. And I don't believe they should require any coating other than disabling the active steering on the headlights. So these are the 9-pin version. If you have a xenon headlight like how I have, you will end up having 9 pins, as you can see there. And so we're going to see how these turn out and see how bright they are. So I guess we'll get cracking on this, and this will completely modernize our front end. Let's do it. All right, the first step is pretty simple. You just gotta pop the hood, and then it's raining, I just got myself wet. It's pretty simple. Just come in here. I'm gonna take off this first piece of trim here. That seals in between, so we can get to our bolts for our bumper. Pretty easy. Should be pretty quick, easy install here. So we'll take that off. All right, we already got the first step done. Getting all these top bolts that were hidden underneath that weather seal. All right, so now we're gonna work down into the fender wells, and we're gonna pop those bolts off like that. And we should be able to pop this bumper off. All right, and one thing I forgot to mention is right here, there is a T30 clip, or not clip, bolt holding in the headlight on the top on each side. So undo those T30s. All center of these bolts are all T30s, and the outsides are T25s. So it's 6 T30s in the front, two T30s holding the headlights, and then a T25 on each side. So, and then we're gonna work down and we're gonna jack up the car so we can get this wheel off and pull out the fender liners so we can get to the inside bolts down there. All right, we got the car all jacked up, wheels underneath. So we need to get back into this area to undo the rest of the bolts on each side. So they're both off, and that should be the last of the bolts for the bumper. And we should be able to pull this off, unplug the clips, and then we should be all good to pop this off. Yes, I got my flashlight on here. So you see right there, there's gonna be your bolts on the bottom, bolts on the top, and you should be able to pull that out. All right, now that we got both of the fender liners off, you can see that's the back of the headlight here. So that's pretty simple. We just gotta unplug this camera right here, and there's gonna be two 8mm bolts right up there. And you should be able to pull this whole front bumper off. All right, I got the headlights unplugged, all the connectors, and the whole entire front bumper off as well. So you gotta make sure there is, I think there was 6 screws on the bottom as well. And so 2 up top, a bunch on the top, like 6 on the bottom, right? And then all the wiring connectors, you just gotta pull those out. And it should be pretty easy to pop off, but it is slightly more than I expected. Be careful with some of the electrical connectors as well. So now I'm gonna start undoing this headlight. I didn't unplug them, so I can't really show you an on comparison. I didn't really think about that, and I don't feel like putting it back on to take it back off because the connectors, they're electrical connectors. They're kind of difficult to pop on and off, especially when your car is 10 years old at this point, or 11 years old. So we're gonna get cracking on that. We're gonna pull these headlights out. I'm gonna put one in. I'm gonna show you just a side-by-side comparison. All right, and let me give you a rough time estimate. Jacking up probably took me like 5 minutes because my car's too low for my jack because I have like a truck jack. The bumper, taking that off, probably took me 20 minutes. So overall, I'm probably like 30 minutes in this project. And it's not too bad. So I'm just giving you guys kind of a rough time estimate on how long this will take. Your mileage may vary depending on your electrical connectors and everything else like that. But let's get cracking, take these off. All right, so there's gonna be a T30 there, and then there's gonna be a 10mm up there. And you should be able just to pop this off. And you should be all good. All right, now that we got both out, I need you to take these clips off and then transfer them to their respective places on top of the headlight. Certain ones, like that one, don't need one, but that one does. I believe the back side right over there will as well. So just work on that, and you should be good. Damn, okay. All right, that took a second, but we got both of them in now. Fitting nice and flush. On the driver's side, you're gonna have to do one simple thing. All right, so you see how stretched that driver's side wiring harness is up here? It's pretty damn tight. So what you gotta do is you gotta come up here, you gotta take it off this one little standoff and pull down and kind of stretch the wiring harness down this way till it'll get into that position right over there. And so then you should be able to plug it all in, it should be all good. But yeah, definitely not ideal. It's what happens if you're pre-LCI and don't have icons. It's because they changed the location of the plug on the pre-LCIs. So as you can see, they look pretty damn good. You got the little BMW adaptive LED written there. All right, I'm gonna throw this front bumper on. All right, we got both back inside and they look nice. So I'll show you guys these in just a second here. I am getting a slight issue where they will both not come on, or only one will come on at one time. So like this. And then if I unplug this one, I'll plug it back in, both will come on. So I'm not sure really what that has to do with. I'm gonna try and figure out in beamer code real quick and see what happens. All right, we now have it all reassembled. As you can see here, I did end up actually breaking my old carbon front vents off, but they're little splitters. But it looks good. As you can see, I'm gonna show you guys some of the headlights. See, absolutely flawless fitment wise on both sides. Sorry about the frost. As you can see, sorry my alarm just went off. But as you can see, it looks so much nicer and newer than those OEM Xenons. It completely changed the look. I'll show you guys with the DRLs. Look at that. They're bright, both sides. Completely changed the look of the car, as you can see here. And these are the color changing modules. So if I go inside the car real quick, and flash these 5 times. Back over here, turn on the parking lights. As you can see here, look at that. There we go, finally got the color changed. Sorry, it took me a second, it was connected to my car. Look how good that looks. So much better than stock. It's honestly ridiculous. This was 600 bucks from Alibaba. Took a month and a half to ship. One of the specific cons is sometimes the headlights will bug out. So as you can see, my parking lights are on. But I'll come out here and the DRLs will be off. This is because they somehow go into a weird protect mode sometimes, as I've seen. This happens with all of the rep icons. And so no matter what you do, I mean, they'll come on when you have your high beams on, or your low beams or high beams on, like that. So they'll come on like that. So those will come on. And so as you can see, they're pretty bright. So they're bright, but they will bug out sometimes. And they go into this weird protect mode where they just don't work. But so the way to fix this is you just gotta either unplug it from the back of the headlight, but we're not gonna do that because we're not taking these out or trying to get into that. So the easiest way to do it is just to come to your back of your boot, unplug your battery for 5 seconds and plug it back in. And this only sometimes happens, but it's one of those things where these rep icons that color change, that will end up happening. So we're just gonna quickly do that and it should go back normal. All right, now that I took off the battery for 5 seconds, put it back on. If I hit unlock, and now they're back to being on. So this just seems some weird protect mode. I'm not sure what I keep doing wrong. Maybe it's a me issue for what I've been doing. But, so they all plug and play. If you do have the adaptive Xenons, like I do, you will end up getting an issue. I thought that I was gonna be able to fix this with beamer code, but unfortunately from everything I've read and everything I've tried, like there's no real way to fix it with beamer code. You need to use your EYS system. It's like the BMW coding software to actually change the modules inside. I have not gotten it personally coded because just having the light on my dash does not bother me that much. This will happen with no matter what icon you get, even real ones, because even the real ones don't have adaptive. Well, they do have adaptive, but you need to get those coded anyways to use those icon adaptives. So even if you get a rep icons like these, you are gonna need to get them coded. So online, there's plenty of coders. I think it's like in between 100 and 150 bucks to get it done. I just don't feel like doing it yet because, I don't know, in college, don't feel like spending the money on just getting rid of a light that doesn't matter to me. So, but they're actually, when I bought these, so from Alibaba, there only was two sets of icons. There was the original icons that were only white, and then there's the color changing V1s. So the icon V1s had this ability to do color changing, right? But as of like 2 weeks ago, they released an icon V2s. So the icon V2s have a better crystal pattern, right? So these look more closer to OEM, as well as the low beam is now in the upper. So these have the low beams in the lower. So the original icons have the low beam in the top. So the low beams in the original icons are in the top. So the icon V2s that are reps are in the top, mine are in the lowers. So if you're going out and buying a set of these, try and go for the newer set. They're not only brighter in the DRL patterns, but they also have amber. So they can also change to amber, they're brighter, and they have that upper light. So it's a lot more closer to OEM, but these, the Icon V1s, still look fantastic, but buying them from Alibaba or anything else like that will save you a ton of money, but it did take a month to get here. But if you're buying it from one of those American companies, you should be able to get it a lot faster. But at the price, you're gonna end up paying $1,600 to $1,700 just to get those headlights. So $600 versus $1,700. I'm gonna take this. Those sights come with coating when you buy it, but you're still, that's where they get all their stuff from. So I'm gonna continue to go with these. So I'm gonna put up pictures of those 3 different versions, and I can show you guys those. So, but what do you guys think? Has this completely transformed my car to make it more modern? Would you guys do this? And what else? Like, what do you guys think? So I know they're not real icons. A bunch of people are gonna be like, oh, if you set it next to real icons, you're gonna notice. Yeah, but the car's not worth $4,000 headlights. Like, that's about a quarter of what I paid for this car. So paying $4,000 for headlights is not in the budget for me. So, all right, just let me know what you guys think. All right, so that last clip you guys saw was from Thanksgiving. And so it's now Christmas here, and I can proudly say they're still doing great. Brighter than stock. Sorry, I'm getting all the frost off here. But yeah, they work great, perfectly, no issues. Like, it's been a month of use. They're great in the city. I still do have that light on my dash. It's not a big deal. It just says service the like active steering on the headlights, but it's not a big deal. I'll get that coated eventually. But in today's video, because it's not Christmas, we now have like a little bonus mod. So we're gonna be installing some sequential side markers in my mirror here. So let's get to that, and I'll show you kind of the updated lighting on my car. As you can see here, we got a little plug and play kind of little turn signal for over on our mirror here. So the first step we gotta do is we gotta go into our car, brush that out of the way. Let's see, can we change these? We can. So let's point the driver's side or passenger side all the way up, just like that. And that's as far as it's gonna go, just like that. So now I can shut it. And I'm gonna put our little pry tool here, and I'm gonna pop this mirror out. All right, now that we got all the screws out, should be able to wiggle this front piece out here. This, try not to break it. I feel like I'm still missing a screw here somewhere. I don't know where. Could be all the ice in the bottom of it too. Or the fact it hasn't come out in 100 years. That doesn't help either. Yeah, it's definitely some of that ice. Sorry. And there we are. And there's our little clip. So as you can see, we have a nice Alibaba headlights. Nice little sequentials. But we did have a loss, unfortunately. I did unfortunately break this. I believe it's like 20 bucks at Amazon, if anything. So that kind of sucks, but the other one was fine. So overall, the complete lighting on this car has like completely changed. The blacked out turn signals look sweet. The overall just headlights, as you can see, as I was talking about earlier in the video, the low beams are the bottom instead of the top, like the OEM Ikons, but the newer Alibaba headlights they came out with actually have that fixed. So because the last coating I did on the old headlights turned off the side marker, so that's currently off for me. But what I want to try and do is, I saw a video on Jake Schnatter's page around a year and a half ago of keeping these on full time. So I'm looking to look at beamer code and see if I can turn these on full time, and then have them blink when they are turn signals. So I want to see how this looks. So just give me 1 second. All right, so now we finished the coating. It's inside your front electronic control module, and then you can turn it on and change your mirrors to US side markers, and just like that, they'll stay on each side. So you have, oops, sorry, it's icy. You have your DRLs, your new Alibaba headlights. You have the side mirrors. Completely changed the front of this look on this car. Sorry it's all covered in salt and road debris, but wow. The whole entire car has completely changed its look. It's honestly impressive. It's crazy. Well, I hope you guys like it.